what would a maximum collecting channel be without several Ape Escape videos? So we're going to do that again. Let's talk about more Ape Escape games that I got. We'll see here super quickly with the second game that I show. Love Ape Escape. I grew up playing Ape Escape 2. It's probably one of my favorite, not probably, it is one of my favorite games of all time. And that passion has grown into hoarding Ape Escape stuff, just like Dokapon Kingdom and Pokemon. And, you get it. You get it. So this episode is going to be going over a bunch of stuff that I got during the winter time, very past few months, probably mostly since the year turned to 2025. But this episode is going to be 3 games. Everything else is not a game. I will keep you on your toes. Blizzard the games. So far, I have every Ape Escape game both in English and in Japanese, the ones that were released. So at this point, I'm just getting all variants of games that I didn't have before. So these 3 games are all just variants, and the first one we'll start with is Sarugetsu on Japanese PS1, or Ape Escape here on PS1. And in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Most recent Yu-Gi-Oh! Episode, we talked about PlayStation The Best, which was just a line of budget releases for certain video games, certain popular video games. But there's also a variant of the best variant, and that would be PlayStation The Best for Family. So up here it says for Family, which is pretty self-explanatory, but games that are family-friendly, games that sold well, games that deserved a re-release, got PlayStation The Best for Family. Obviously, you probably wouldn't re-release a Yu-Gi-Oh! Game for family, but you get the idea. Catching monkeys is pretty harmless. So that's just what this is. There's also a PS1 Books variant. We talked about that in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Episode 2. I'm missing that variant, but once I have that variant, then I have all the PS1 variants, which is pretty cool. But, just talking about the actual game itself, I don't like this game. I mentioned before that I didn't grow up with a PS1, so PS1 graphics aren't it to me. So I tried playing it, played through a few levels, and the controls weren't there for me. I didn't enjoy it, so I just stopped. However, I did convince somebody at my work to play it. We were just talking about it, and then I saw that it was on the PS5 online store, so they bought it on PS5 and played it on PS5, and they beat it, which is cool. I have converted somebody. But yeah, PlayStation The Best for Family. That's definitely the most interesting part to that one. But let's get into the games that I do actually like. First one is Sarugetsu 2 on Japanese PS2, or Ape Escape 2, the game that I grew up with. And I love this one. Like I said, I already love this one. But kind of talking about games being released on PS5 or getting re-released on PS5, you could get Ape Escape 1 on PS5. But they also tried to get Ape Escape 2, and when they downloaded it, it looked like the PAL version, and the controller wasn't working, so I don't even know how that happened. But yeah, I don't think this is on PS5. I think it's on PS4, but not PS5. Weird. So this is just another variant. This is another reprint. So normally, PlayStation The Best comes in an all yellow yellow border, but with a white box on the inside. And this one is gray on the inside, or kind of silver, because this is a reprint of a reprint. So the white variant is the original The Best re-release, and this gray one is a second re-release. So what did I write here? This one, the original game, the original game and the white variant, they were released 5 months apart, which is really, really quick. To call a game like a superseller deserving of a reprint only 5 months after it was released is kind of funny, especially for a game like Ape Escape 2 in the early 2000s. Kind of interesting. But then I looked at some more release history for this game. I noticed that Europe got Ape Escape 2 before North America did, which is kind of funny. And it's also funny because, here we go. Japan got the reprint, the white reprint, not this one, the reprint before this one. Japan got the first reprint, and Europe got their first print 3 months after that. And then North America finally got it 3 months after the European release. So Japan got their release, Japan reprinted, and then Europe got it, and then North America got it. All decently far apart, which is kind of weird. But we also got North America, like, technically first by a day, even before Japan. I don't know. Weird release history. But again, one reprint wasn't enough. Obviously, this one right here. But it then was reprinted again, in this case, a whole 2+ years after the first reprint. So original release, white variant the best, and then 2 years later, over 2 years later, Japan finally got this yellow one, which is way after when we would have got it. But, you know, not only did a game get one reprint, it got two, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, that's pretty neat. But one more in the exact same style is Ape Escape 3, Sarugetsu 3 on Japanese PS2. And it's pretty much the same as before. This is the best reprint. So Silver Border came out as a second reprint of Ape Escape 3 in Japan. So here we go. Some rapid fire release history for the last core series Ape Escape game. Okay. GameFAQs says Asia got the original Ape Escape 3 first in July 2005, but then Japan got that 2 days later. So I don't know how Japan is getting these games last, but Japan technically got the game 2 days after Asia, whatever that's supposed to mean. And then Japan got the regular white, the best reprint 4 months later in November 2005. So again, Japan is reprinting these games super quick before it even leaves Japan. It then went to Korea a month after that in December 2005, and then finally into North America in January 2006. The PlayStation 3 was released the same year. It's crazy to me. Very weird. And then other PAL regions got it 4 months later in May 2006, but then the second reprint finally released over a year later in July 2007. So 2 years after it was released. I don't know. The release history of these games is so bizarre. That's like kind of like its own video on its own. But yeah. But this is a really good opportunity for me to mention that I played Ape Escape 3. So I mentioned, I might have mentioned it on the channel recently, but I mentioned in my year in review, games that I played in review for 2024, that I really wanted to play Ape Escape 3 for 2025. And it was, had time off for the holidays, and I was like, all right, let me sit down with Ape Escape 3. Let me do it now. And I beat that game 100%. That game in a day and a half before the clock even struck 2025. So, it was supposed to be a 2025 goal. I finished it before 2025 even happened. But Ape Escape 3, pretty darn good. When I was playing it, I didn't love it as much. I was trying so hard to not compare it to Ape Escape 2, but like everything that Ape Escape 3 does, Ape Escape 2 already did. It's a new game, new monkeys, new settings, and some of the settings were really, really nice, and I really did like it. I appreciated how linear Ape Escape 3 was. Ape Escape 2, I know the game so well, but like it almost feels a little open world. Not open world. Not as linear. This game, very linear. You know exactly where to go next. I appreciate that a lot because I don't know. 2 open worlds bugs me a little bit. But it was a good game. I didn't love it. I'd probably put it like a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10. We'll go 7.5 out of 10. Obviously, we don't have another Ape Escape. Ape Escape 3 is the last main series release. So, Sony, Ubisoft, give us Ape Escape 4, give us a trilogy, give us anything to play these games, not just these games getting re-released on PS5. Which now I'm thinking about, was this released on PS4, PS5? I don't know. Ape Escape 1 is on PS5. Ape Escape 2 is on PS4. I have to imagine this is here too. But, yeah. And just like that, those are all the games for the episode. Everything else is going to be something different. And I don't even want to, put some blanket statement on it because it's all over the place. Let's start with one that's not so crazy to consider would exist in the Ape Escape mediaverse. So let's talk about music that was released for Ape Escape. So, like I said, I grew up playing Ape Escape 2. I could listen to that soundtrack now and would still love it. But Ape Escape 2 was never released physically, and I'll get into that in just a second. However, Ape Escape 1 and Ape Escape 3 were both released on the Ape Escape 1 and 3 Originape soundtracks. Ape Escape 1 came in 2011, and Ape Escape 3, the soundtrack, came out in 2012. And part of the reason why these were released is the composer for Ape Escape and Ape Escape 3 is Soichi Terada, and these are just remix versions of those soundtracks. So Terada is still around, and I guess he was given the opportunity to remix and redo the music, and he took it, which is cool. But here's the thing. Ape Escape 3 had good music. I don't play Ape Escape 1 enough to know, but Soichi Terada did not do Ape Escape 2, and so we don't have a soundtrack for Ape Escape 2, even though that's like the one I would want the most. But part of the new things that I got for these 2 CDs, brand new, that were released in Japan only. So that's pretty cool. But that's not where Terada's remix work stops, because not only did he remix those 2 soundtracks for just CD in the early 2010s, here's what you're not expecting. While I was researching, I learned that Terada again remixed just 6 tracks, totally ground up remix. Actually, the other ones were remixes, right? Yeah, they were remixes. There are 6 tracks from Ape Escape that were completely remixed, and they were put on vinyl. I don't even know if it's fitting in the camera. I've had some weird framing issues recently, but I hope these are all here. So 6 tracks completely remixed from Ape Escape 1 and put on vinyl as Apes in the Net. And, if you know me, you might know this, but odds are you don't. I used to collect vinyl. I've never owned a DVD player. A vinyl, jeez. I've never owned a record player. My dad collected records, and I saw the records. I don't know. I think records are very aesthetically pleasing to look at. Not just aesthetic, but I think collecting vinyl looks really good on a shelf. Almost better than video games look on a shelf. That could also just be because I saw my dad's record collection. I don't know. So there is a small place in my heart for records, and I collected for a long time, but I don't anymore. I bought too many video games, so I completely ran out of room for records, and now all my records are in an attic. And so once I put them all in the attic, I was like, I cannot buy any more records. I can't. I have no place to put them. It doesn't make sense to buy something just to store it in an attic. But I saw this one and I had to buy it. And yeah, and the crazy part too is that that's not even where the vinyl stops for Ape Escape, because while I was researching that, I learned that there's another vinyl box set that isn't in this video, thankfully, but it's on pre-order. I can't remember where I pre-ordered it from, but it just happened to come across it in the pre-order phase, and I was like, no way this exists. So I can't even remember what it was. I think it's all music from Ape Escape 1. I'm drawing a blank. I pre-ordered it a while ago at the point of recording, but yeah, I ordered that too. That'll be in a video at some point. It says Q1 release, so I'm hoping I get it in March, or sooner than that. Hopefully I'm not waiting until the end of the year to get it. But yeah, I can't pass up media like that. Maybe if I never collected vinyl, maybe I wouldn't. I probably would, because it's still Ape Escape, but yeah, it is. It's painful to buy vinyl that I don't have a place to put. So that's a problem for a different time. But there is a box set coming, which is really, really cool. Yeah. So then one more piece of Ape Escape music that came out is the Ape Escape Pumped and Primed soundtrack. So this is from Ape Escape Pumped and Primed on PS2 that was released in 2004. Soundtrack's also from 2004, and probably the only way this probably the only reason this exists is because Soichi Terada also did the Pumped and Primed soundtrack. So that was also released on CD, but this was a lot harder to find. You notice that those 2 were brand new. This one is used. This one's got a big fat crack in it. It was very expensive because I couldn't find it anywhere. So that's pretty cool. Pretty interesting. Games don't get soundtracks released separately like that anymore. Anytime you get a soundtrack, either it's released digitally, just on Spotify, or it's released on some collector's edition. And I can tell you that Ape Escape 1, 2, 3, and Pumped and Primed did not have collector's editions. But if they were re-released with collector's editions, I would. Yeah, I don't know. Speaking of, if Ape Escape 4 ever came out, like if they said Ape Escape 4 is coming to PS5, I'd go out and buy a PS5. I don't own a PS5 right now, but I would go buy Ape Escape 4 for that. Or a trilogy. I don't know. Crazy. Insane. Okay. And then we move on. So that was music. And naturally, the next form of media that Ape Escape branches into, not necessarily chronologically, would be DVDs. Okay. So I've talked about this first DVD before. However, during all this, I researched this a little bit better, and now I can talk about it a little more thoroughly. So this is it just says Ape Escape. This is I'm pretty sure, a UK release. Pretty sure UK release. I'm not recognizing this, but I'm going to go with the UK. So this is a compilation of cartoon shorts based on Ape Escape 2. Art style a little different. It's more like this 2D animation, but those cartoon shorts were developed by Frederator. If Frederator sounds familiar, I am 99% sure Frederator worked on Fairly OddParents. The animation doesn't look quite the same. It looks like it could be like early, 2000s, almost like Johnny Test era looks more like. But those cartoon shorts were released on Nicktoons in 2009. And apparently were also released here in North America. But I do not remember ever seeing Ape Escape shorts on TV. Never. I don't know if it wasn't on TV. Maybe it was just on a different channel, or maybe it was just on their website. I don't know. But I have never seen these shorts before me buying this DVD. Because I feel like young preteen me would remember seeing these things on TV and be like, oh, I played that game. I don't remember these at all. But this DVD is a compilation of those cartoon shorts. There were originally 38 shorts made, but only 19 of them made it onto this DVD in 2013. And as far as I know, this is the only compilation of those shorts ever. And I sat through the whole thing. I watched the whole darn thing. Not that the shorts are long. They're shorts, right? They're only short. They're not long. It didn't really hit, though. There's like one scene where there's a monkey who ate Natalie's ice cream, and the ice cream's all over his face. I thought that was really funny. I have a screenshot of that somewhere, but I don't know. I wasn't really laughing the whole time. Probably because it wasn't made for me. Not made for adults. It's made for a kid. But, even for someone who has a lot of appreciation. Oh, sorry. Irish film classification. I just saw that. Irish DVD. That's even weirder. But as somebody who has, appreciation for the source material, I wasn't really feeling it, but that's fine. It's not for me. It's for the kids. And that's not the last time there was a DVD released for Ape Escape, because the next one was also something different, and this one is weird to explain. So this one is brand new. Like I said, that last DVD I've shown before. At some point, this one, brand new. I bought this right in the beginning of January. This one was also very expensive because I couldn't find it anywhere. So this one is a collection of 75 45-second shorts released for TV Tokyo in 2002 before Ape Escape 2's release. I talked about that one before because I've showed it before. This one was released before Ape Escape 2, and 75 45-second shorts. I can do math. What is that? Almost in 75 45. Sorry, I'm not in math mood right now. It's fine. It's okay. But this DVD has all of those shorts. So, the last one only had 19 out of 38. This one has all 75 shorts. And not only that, it also has a 22-minute movie about a golden monkey helmet. So, I think total runtime, what does it say? Where is it? It should say the runtime on the back. I can't find it. Oh, 85 minutes. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I was going to say about an hour, but I was doubting myself. So about an hour of shorts, 22 minutes for the 22-minute movie. Yeah, and just at least the last one was in English. This one's in Japanese, so I couldn't understand what was going on. But yeah, some of the shorts were dubbed, however, for the first Nicktoons Film Festival, but they never saw the light of day here otherwise. So, those previous shorts, the 38, were released in 2009. These were released in 2002. So at the very least, these were inspiration for the future ones. But yeah, the shorts that we the shorts that were dubbed never saw the light of day. So, whatever English version of these are out there, they are hidden. They are hidden out there, which is kind of stinks, but, these things happen. There's also another series for Ape Escape, in terms of television, from 2006 to 2007 called Saru Get You On Air, and Saru Get You On Air Second, the sequel. But as far as I know, there's no DVD release of those. If there is, I need it. But, yeah. That was weird going through those. But, yeah, more Ape Escape media. And last but not least, we'll go through these. And, what's the last place, or not last place, what's the first place you would think a Japanese media franchise goes to? Almost every game we talk about starts as this, and that would be manga. Okay, so there are 2 runs of manga in the Ape Escape universe. The first one is a 5-part series known as Sarugetsu Uki Uki Daisakusen, which ran in Koro Koro Comics starting in June 1999. So that had to be after Ape Escape 1's release. But those parts I now own. So Koro Koro, I can't talk a whole lot about. I didn't do any research on Koro Koro. It's literally just a comic magazine. And if you can think of a media franchise in Japan, they probably put something out in Koro Koro in the late 90s and early 2000s, and probably longer than that. But these are compilations of all the Ape Escape, all the Ape Escape strips that were in Koro Koro. So if it was in the Koro Koro comics, it was then put into these volumes. So there are 4 volumes here out of 5. I'll come back to that in just a second. But then that's also not where it ended. That series then continued with a new 9-part series simply known as Sarugetsu that ran in Koro Koro until October 2011. And I have those. So, okay, let's talk about this here. The original 5 volumes that I showed, those comics originally, I can't even hold this up like that. These original comics, they ran starting in 1999, and then at some point they stopped doing those comics and then switched over to the regular Sarugetsu comics, and that ran until 2011. So I think there was a break in there, not a super long break, but it was kind of just like, okay, this one's ending, now we're putting in a new one. But 4 volumes are the original, 9 volumes are the new ones. So the original 5-part volumes were published from 2001 to 2005, and the 9-part volumes were published from 2005 to 2012. So pretty quickly, we're able to get them out of the comics and into what's the word I'm looking for? Compilation. I don't know what the exact word of it would be, but I guess this is more of a comic series than it is manga. I don't know why I said manga. I guess, I don't know, maybe the same thing? I don't know, I don't read manga. I don't know. So you saw that I have the 9-part series complete, but you probably saw, and I mentioned it, that only 4 of the original are in my hands. And I am missing number 5. Number 5 was published in January 1st, 2005, and I can't find it, which is partially a lie. When I was writing this script, if you will, I had originally had 2 or 3 of the groups, what am I saying? The lot of all 5 in my watch list. And then right when I was going to buy them, because I was like, okay, time for me to buy these, they all sold out. And I was like, no way. And then the only thing that I saw were groups of 4 and missing number 5. So that's not good. But at some point, actually in the past week, I've gotten emails from eBay saying that the 5 lot, the 5 book lot is back on eBay. There's 2 listings for it, but I asked them, like, would you be willing to sell just 5? And they said no. So brutal. But yeah, help me find number 5. But I just want to give a big shout out to Chris at Rewind Arcade, because he got all these for me. His games are gonna appear. Stuff that he has sent me is gonna appear over like a couple weeks of videos. I think he also sent me something that I showed off in the Yu-Gi-Oh episode. I don't know if I mentioned him there, But yeah, this was part of the stuff that he sent me. We made a nice big order together because he knows how to work his way around certain Japanese sites. So Chris, thank you again. Even though we were missing 5 and we were very defeated that we were missing 5, thank you so much for getting me all the other ones. We'll come across 5 at some point. Maybe I'll just bite the bullet and buy the 5 on eBay, but not right now. Not right now. So, okay, this was very messy. Yeah, I realized there was not a lot of cohesion in my script here, but that's okay. That's okay. Just going forward, I really want an Ape Escape 4. I mentioned it before. Anything to keep us Ape Escape fans quenched. Astrobot, the game of the year from 2024 on PS5, did have an Ape Escape level as like an homage to the series, but like, man, I don't want an homage. I want a new game. So, hey man, Sony, Ubisoft put out a game on PS5 physically, and I'm buying it. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But okay, in all of my scattered glory in this episode, I really hope you learned something. Thank you so much for watching, and not that I think anybody out there is a big Ape Escape fan. I mean, that's a lie. That's a joke. It's a joke. If there's something I missed about any of these, or like maybe I explained it wrong, especially like the comics, like go into the comments and correct me like crazy, because I guess it's not manga, they're comics, right? But please correct me if there's something you find out about these things that I don't. Searching for this media is kind of stressful because you don't know when it ends, so you don't know if you found all of it, and I don't know, that kind of bothers me a little bit, but it's okay. It's fine. So, like I said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something as much as... I'm sorry. What did I say? I don't remember what I was going to say. I don't remember my normal outro. That's okay. That's fine. Okay. With that said, thanks for watching, and bye.